Hello everyone, today we have this Lincoln Town Car 2009 with AC problem. Okay, so let's see what it does. As soon as I turn on the ignition key, as you can hear, the blower fan starts running straight away. Okay, when I turn the key off, it goes off. Okay, so if I turn it again on, it starts running straight away without turning on the Havoc control model. Okay, so as you can see, I can turn on this control model and I can turn it off, but the blower motor will never go off. As soon as the ignition key is at run position, it starts blowing. Okay, I have tested this unit. I have done a self-test by pressing off and this button and then auto. It will start self-test. After a while, if there is any codes, they will be displayed in this display. If there is no codes, this what should be displayed. So this indicates that there is no codes stored in this control model. And also I have already tested it using this test tool, but also there is no faults stored in this control model. So as soon as I press off again, the blower motor starts blowing straight away, even though the control model is at off state. So let's test and see what's wrong with this. Okay, so we have here this wiring diagram about this car. Okay, as you can see, Lincoln 2009 Lincoln Town Car, and we have here this HVAC, which means heating, ventilation, air conditioning module. This module controls the blower motor, but the blower motor is not connected directly to this control module, but instead is connected to a speed controller. As you can see, is written here, blower motor speed control. So this speed control gets a signal that controls the fan or the blower motor speed. Okay, and as you can see, we have here a relay. This relay provides the speed, the blower motor itself with a 12 volts directly. Okay, as you can see, and this relay is controlled by the climate control. When the climate control is on, this relay should be on, and then the voltage from the battery should go to the blower motor. Okay, so this speed controller then controls the ground of this blower motor by the commands that is sent by the climate control. So we have here two options. Either the speed controller is faulty or the climate control itself is faulty. And to check whether this one or this one is faulty, what will I do? I will go and remove this relay, and I will put a piece of wire at terminals 87 and 30, and we will see if the fan starts blowing straight away. That means that we have a short in the speed controller. Without turning the car, I will just put a piece of wire at terminals 30 and 87 of the relay, and if the blower motor starts running, then we know that we have a short at the speed controller. Okay, so let's go and check it. Okay, so we are at the engine compartment, and here we have this relay box. Let me just open it. Okay, as you can see, here we have some fuses and relays. This is the relay that is controlling the speed controller. This is the relay that provides the 12 volts to the speed controller. So if I take this relay off, let me just take it off. Okay, so the relay is off. Let's go and check again when we switch the ignition on whether the blower fan will start or not. As you can see, I turned on the ignition key and the fan is not blowing anymore. So now I will go and put a piece of wire, as I said, at this position, and see with the key off and see if the blower motor start to blow or not. Okay, so now I put this wire and I said that I will put it at terminals 30 and 87. And also the blower fan is located down there. I don't know if you can see it, but it is inside there. Okay, so we can hear it from here. So let's try and put a jumper wire here and see if that blower starts blowing. And it does start. Now I took it off. Let's do it again. So now I can say that the speed controller is what is faulty, and it's not the climate control unit. So the speed controller is located here in the back of the engine. So it is down there. I don't know if you can see it from here, that one. I will disassemble it and I will check if I can fix it. Okay, so this is the speed controller. I have removed it. To remove it, you need to undo 2 screws. This is one and this is the other one. Okay, so I used this E4 spanner. Okay, and also to gain access to this, I had to remove this part and everything from here. Okay, so also because these 2 heater core pipes are bypassed, it was easier for me to just move them this way. Otherwise it will be a little bit hard. And also I removed 1 coil from here because it was a little hard, and also I was afraid I will break it because this socket of it goes this way. So I just removed it. Okay, so as you can see, this speed controller contains a heatsink and a transistor inside. Okay, and I think there is more circuitry inside this if we undo these 2 screws. Okay, so I will take it apart and see if I can fix it. Maybe this transistor is faulty, it's short circuit, causing the fan to go at high speed all the time. Okay, so let's see if we can fix this. Okay, so this is the speed controller. I have already took these 2 screws out. So to take it apart, I need to remove this sticky foam. I don't want to damage it, to avoid dust going into the air conditioning conduits. Okay, so this is the speed controller inside. So What do we have here? I don't know what part is this. We have a capacitor, we have a varistor, I think, 2 resistors and a diode. So let me check this transistor and check this diode. If I go to diode mode, okay, so the recording has stopped. I don't know why, but I have tested this diode. I was going to test this diode, and as you can see, it is not shorted. But both sides, it reads both sides. And I have tested this transistor, which is this one, the big one. I have already started desoldering it, but then I realized that it's not recording anymore. Don't know what has happened. So I found this transistor is shorted. Collector to emitter is shorted. Base is good. If we check base to collector, base to emitter, it's not shorted, but the collector and emitter are shorted. So I need to remove this one. I have already started removing this, but it's really hard to take it apart because these big solder pads are connected directly to the heatsink, to this transistor, and these are like a pin that is not removable from this side because it's pinned from this side. Don't know if we can see it, but it is pinned from this side. So I think I will drill these 2 pins to take it out, but I need to remove these 2 solder pads first. I will use this to take it apart, if it can suck everything. It did suck almost all the solder, but there is some. I will try and use this to desolder the rest. So this one is good. I'll try and desolder this one. Okay, this one is okay. Focus. Let's use the microscope. As you can see, the solder is no longer there, so I'll go and use a drill to remove these 2 pins, and I'll take this transistor out. Finally, this transistor has arrived, and let's install it together. But first, let's compare it with the old one. Okay, so they both have the same part number, MJ11028G. So let's compare them in diode mode. Okay, so as you can see, we have 0.5 voltage drop and 0.4 voltage drop. Let's test this one. Zero 0.5 short. So this pin is shorted. So I think this is the emitter and the collector are both shorted together. So now let's install this. I will use this isolation pad because this one is already damaged. Okay, so okay, so this will go this way inside this heatsink. Like this. I might use a heat shrink inside here to avoid these pins from touching this heatsink. Okay. Let me grab a heat shrink. Okay, so these two heat shrink will go to these two legs of the transistor, so it will not touch the heatsink. Okay, so I will use these two rivets instead of these two that I have already took out by using a drill, so they are not usable. Okay, so this should go like this. I think this still has some solder. Let me just remove it. Okay, so these rivets will go here and will get out of transistors, so they will hold the transistor in and the heatsink in place. Okay, so this one will go here, and I will add some solder to these pads so that the collector of the transistor will conduct with the board, will contact with the board. So these two has fallen, didn't see them. Okay. I will solder these two legs now. Okay, we can see it. I will take the old solder from here, so this will go in all the way. Let me add some flux. Okay, so now I'll push these inside, and I'll use this rivet tool. Like so. I'll press and hold down, and I will okay, so as you can see, it's good. We have soldered these two. They took a lot of time because these are now connected with this heatsink, and this heatsink absorbs all the heat that I am putting from this soldering iron. So I used a hot air station to aid this soldering iron, and now it's okay, I think. If you can see. Okay, so let's test these two with the heatsink, if they make contact or not. So this one and this one, and they should not make any contact with these, but they may read in a diode mode. So let's try this one. It does not. This one does not. So let's try to reverse these two probes. Now it reads 0.38. This one reads 0.44. So, and these two 0.4, and nothing. So this transistor is now okay, and we can install it. Okay, here we are. I have installed this speed controller to the harness, wiring harness, and I will go and test it. I will not leave it running for a long time because this transistor is using this heatsink to cool it down, and this heatsink is being cooled down by the air that's blown by this blower motor. So I will just test it to see if it does work or not, and I will connect this Burj valve because I don't want to have a check engine. Okay. Okay, so let's go and test. Okay, let's test. I will turn on the key. So the fan does not go, does not start. In the past it was starting as soon as I turn on the key. So let's try and turn the AC on. As you can hear, the fan works properly. Okay, so I will go and install everything and we'll test it again. Okay, so I have installed the speed controller in its place, and once again I have used this E4 spanner, E4, to tighten two screws. One is this one and the other one is there. So I will finish everything and I will test it again. Okay, so I installed everything, so let's go and test it. Okay, let's start the engine. The fan did not blow. It's okay. The engine is on. Let's turn the AC on. It works properly. The fan is blowing nice. Let's adjust it. As you can hear, it works properly now. So this Lincoln town car is now fixed. Thank you for watching. I hope I can see you in another video. Thank you so much.